And welcome everybody. This is episode number 16 in our Grand Tactician the Civil War series. We look at some winter plans the Confederates may take. The Union have plans of their own. Things are going to get a little hot along the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. You'll see that and much more on episode 16 of Grand Tacticians the Civil War. It is November 19th, 1861, and the Eastern Theater of the war has seen some interesting developments. It looks like the Army of Ohio, the Union Army of Ohio, has cut through the Shenandoah Valley behind the Army of Northern Virginia through Winchester and over to help defend Washington, D.C. And I don't know if that was just a scramble by the Union AI to get to Washington, because they did not do anything, an invasion of the South. I think that's what the main objective was to help defend Washington, D.C. since we were threatening them, since the Army was threatening them from Frederick, Maryland. So it has caused me to detach Preston's newly formed cavalry corps to go back and occupy Winchester. Actually, and then I had ordered Lee to march back towards Harper's Ferry. Actually changed my mind. Let's halt them. I want to stay in Frederick for a second. We may change that plan. So I noticed the AI, now that I think about it, that's what the AI must have decided to do. Now, they could have easily invaded south. I do have Magruder's Hampton's division and also the Army of Northwest, two small contingents coming back to form a thin defensive perimeter around the central area of Virginia, shielding Richmond from possible invasion, hopefully that would buy some time for Lee to scramble back. I should say Beauregard, who is actually the commander of the Army of Northern Virginia. We do have a small winter campaign in Kentucky. Price's corps is headed towards Evansville to secure that town on the Ohio River and hopefully disrupt supply situations for the two armies that are guarding Cairo. But that 41,000 men are steering the two Union armies across the Mississippi River. We have Maxcy Gregg, a newly formed corps, and given overall new army of the Trans-Mississippi under Zollenkoffer, who is marching towards or traveling towards Rolla, Missouri, to set up headquarters there. Preston's Cavalry Corps marching towards Winchester to retake that town. It'll be interesting to see what the two armies now near Washington, D.C., what they decide to do. They are blockading Alexandria. We're going to order James River Squadron to maybe do some raiding around Norfolk. And looking back in the Shenandoah, we are watching Preston's Corps move back to Winchester. Not sure exactly what they're going to do, but it does look like the Army of Northeastern Virginia might try to cross the Potomac. We'll have to try to keep an eye on that situation. After Preston secures Winchester, we may order him to scout across the mountains here, out of the valley and into the Manassas area, and make sure that the Union armies are not crossing. Price is building a depot here, though, at Hartford, Kentucky. And then we'll strike at Evansville. Now the decision is, do we strike at Baltimore before Christmas and the deep winter is upon us? Or do we just stay in winter quarters? I mean, that would probably trigger a battle for sure. We got 20,000 men of the Army of Ohio. And another 20. So you got about 40,000 men. Lee commands about 20,000 right now. Johnston another 12. Our cavalry of about 6,000 has been detached to secure our supply lines. We're going to build a strong point here, right at the Fredericksburg Bridge area. That's kind of Magruder's task right now, is to build supply depots and other fortifications behind the lines here in case a Union invasion. There's some marching. Oh, it looks like the Union Army is crossing the Potomac. At least one of the Army of Ohio looks like they might be crossing. Looks like they're marching westward, though. Looks like they're taking transports down the Potomac. Well, let's send Lee to meet them. So the Army of Ohio is just steaming down the Potomac, approaching Harper's Ferry crossing. We'll see what's going to happen here soon. No movement from the Army of Northeastern Virginia. Alright, so Lee marches back towards the crossing at Harper's Ferry. And it looks like the Army of Ohio has landed on the towpath of the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. Army of Northeastern Virginia now looks like they might be marching. Should probably call. Preston has not secured Winchester, though. Or yes, they have. They have not secured this telegraph station. Alright, well, we're going to march Preston back to Harper's Ferry. Johnston's given orders to march towards headquarters. Trenton affair resolved. Confederate diplomats released. Lincoln backs down. Relations returning to normal. Invasion plans canceled. While the release of the imprisoned diplomats have eased tensions, the British preparations have bolstered their strength, both in Canada and at sea. Rumors indicate the British Army in Canada is now some 20,000 men strong, well equipped. There's still that possibility to get European intervention, although that's not the main focus of the campaign. Although the focus of this campaign has seemed to shift towards the Eastern Theater, it's still designed heavily to focus on the Western Theater. Now, even though things have kind of stalled out on the Western Front, I think we've occupied a lot of Union manpower over here to actually allow our successes in the East. Uh-oh, here comes the Department of Pennsylvania also. So you have like 3 corps basically converging towards the Confederate position. Although it looks like they're retaining the Army of Northeastern Virginia in D.C. Actually, it looks like we have 2 departments, Army of the Potomac and Department of Pennsylvania. So 2 more, we'll call them corps, for 13,000 men on the Army of Potomac. So we need to crush the Army of Ohio quickly. And here we have another engagement. 20,000 men under the Army of Ohio. 62 guns. We have 96 guns, though. It looks like we'll have everyone available to us, too. Overall command on the field will be Johnston. We have Orland A.M. Law as the Union commander. I'm guessing this will be the Sharpsburg map. Battle of Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. The Union fields 20,000 men under the command of Major General Law. Confederacy fields some 40,000 men. So yes, it is going to be the Antietam battle map. We get to fight a defensive battle for the most part. Now we only have Lee on the field of battle, even though reinforcements are supposed to all be here. I imagine the Union forces will be coming from the southeast. I wonder if should we guard Porterstown? Now there's an objective there. We can entrench. Let's entrench Ewell's forward position here. I don't like Hampton, his position. We can put him right here. So we're going to dig in around Porterstown. Alright, so we built some breastworks here. Try to fortify Ewell's position at Porterstown. We'll build some over here, just in case the Union tries to cross at the lower bridge. It's not Burnside Bridge anymore, or not yet at least. Alright, let's get started. Our only concern is if the Union tries to outflank us from the north. I believe they should be coming in from the southeast, because that is where they were arriving on the campaign map. Our reinforcements should be arriving any minute. We are almost an hour into the beginning of the battle, and still no sign of the Union forces. No signs of reinforcements, too. Take a look at the headquarter dispatch. According to this, they might have 29,000 men, which was not the original estimate from what I remember. So Johnston and Preston will be arriving in 1 hour, according to this report. Take a look at the stats on the corps here. Fighting spirit. Lee's corps is down to a 72 fighting spirit, though considered the best corps, and training of 54. Once Preston gets here, we will order him to the north. Same thing with, most likely we'll order Johnston to the northern part of the battlefield to prevent any flank maneuver by the Union forces. Johnston's army has arrived. Alright, now we spot the first Federals advancing. And we see the first Federals coming through the mountain gaps here as they are headed towards Porterstown. Rosser's guns at Porterstown says hellos to the Miles 1st Brigade marching down the road. Greetings on this cold December 1st of 1861. Looks like Preston has arrived as well. Which Preston is probably coming from the south. We're going to move Pillow forward in support of Ewell. I don't see any support for Miles's brigade. They're marching headlong into Ewell's fortified position. We will throw out some skirmishers. They'll take refuge in the buildings here. Now we see another brigade. 2nd Brigade of the Union Army. Mott and Miles. Let's take a quick peek at the rest of the map. I don't see any other Union units on the map at other places. Let's watch the fighting on the outskirts of Porterstown as we hear the Union band strike up the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And it looks like Miles' brigade will fall back a little bit. I think they're just kind of probing our lines. Looks like the Union orders their own skirmishers forward. Well, they took 76 casualties. Where's the rest of the Union army? It's almost like a probing attack. They're like, I don't know about this one. We better wait for reinforcements or rethink assaulting this fortified position. Let's see, let's put James in a better position for his artillery here. I see another Union column in the distance over here. Some cavalry. We're going to have Stephen D. Lee cross Let's take a peek at how our reinforcements are progressing. They are marching along the road towards the upper bridge. Let's bring James's battalion of guns over here. While we have the Union Army stalled out in front of Porterstown. Now we're in a good position here too. If the entire Union Army is going to form up in front of Porterstown, we can use Clayton to cross Lower Bridge and hit them from the flank. Or they're just in a position to be able to reinforce Porterstown. Also have Johnston coming from the north. So now we have 2 batteries in position versus their 1 horse artillery battalion. And in fortified positions too. McIntosh actually suffering some casualties behind the breastworks. His flank's a little bit exposed. Let's send lead elements of Johnston's corps to the upper bridge in an attempt to make a crossing. Now you see a bunch of artillery getting in position here from the Union. I'm tempted to cross with Clayton's division here. Feel like we're in a very strong defensive position though. And Frost's brigade looking to make a crossing at the upper bridge. It says Frost is firing. Is he firing on someone? McIntosh has a perk. Ooh, we can assign a perk to McIntosh's brigade. Deadly Volley. This unit is trained vigorously in maintaining fire discipline, releasing their volley only when the effect is assured. Resistance to high momentary casualties plus 50%, volley strength plus 5%, level up in short range engagements. And discipline. Men are trained to high standards of discipline. They understand the meaning of keeping their ranks together under fire. Cohesion increases 25% faster. Level up in ranged combat. We're actually going to do Iron Discipline 1. We have a few people. Jones's brigade. Let's try to do experts now. Sharpshooters 1. A company of men in this unit are hand-picked marksmen. Accuracy plus 10%. Level up by engaging enemies at long range. So it looks like the Union is going to shell the Porterstown position, though. They're going to shell it into oblivion. I think the Union commander wants to soften up the defenses before the main assault on Porterstown. And now Johnston is across the upper bridge and can threaten the Union right flank if need be. Gave orders to Gladden's division to cross the upper bridge and form up around Prize Mill. Lee is wounded. Oh, Stephen Lee. So he's taken 2 casualties. He's kind of wanted him to stay on the reverse slope. We are taking some casualties from the bombardment. We've got 3 battalions of artillery shelling our position. Vaughn is ordered to the middle bridge here in support of Ewell. Who else just got wounded? Captain James has received... Okay, so James's artillery. I was just thinking to myself, like, I haven't seen too many officers getting struck down. Now we're going to start seeing the officers going down in droves. Man, Preston's taking forever. Looks like Preston's command has been disrupted and fragmented, causing the delays. So McIntosh's brigade have lost 87 men now. And this has just been an artillery barrage for the past few hours. The Union not wanting to commit to a full-scale assault, and rightfully so. I was hoping to get Preston over here a little bit quicker. I may just go ahead and send Clayton's division across and try to hit the Union flank here. So Clayton's going to try to do a counterattack on the Union left flank. Lead elements of Johnston's corps are getting into position. Looks like James's artillery is suffering quite a bit of casualties. They've lost at least 2 or 3 guns. Alright, Clayton on the move. I'm going to hit that left hard. A lot of guns. Yeah, we can get some flanking fire from Waitman's guns here. Looks like the South Carolina artillery, though, is under threat of breaking soon. There's Clayton's division on the Union left, and Gladden forming up on Ewell's left, the Union right. Preston finally on the move. Let's see if we can get Forrest to cross over here as well and get in behind. We can probably get in behind the Union position here. So Clayton's division getting in position. Waitman now unlimbering and unloading fire from the flank. See if that disrupts the Union line there. Probably send McCulloch and some skirmishers out. And so we have the attention of the Union left flank for sure now. Skirmishers trying to disrupt this artillery. Henry McCulloch's skirmishers are driven off. Well, Clayton got winded from making that crossing. Burbridge's brigade is very tired. I guess they're marching uphill. Let's order McCulloch to halt and get some rest. A breather here. You can also try to straighten out his line here. Looks like Waitman's doing some damage to the 2nd Battery. James's battalion still holding on, although their morale is definitely shaken and their loss resilience is almost its max. We have Forrest and Charles Winder's artillery. So now we are threatening the Union rear, and they are adjusting their lines in response. Now they can just fall back on higher ground here. I'm going to order Jackson over to the crossroads over here at the tip of the mountain ridge. Looks like McCulloch has an opportunity to maybe capture this horse artillery that is now isolated and exposed as the rest of the Union line retreats. Buvald and McCulloch ordered to attack this horse artillery battalion. I think our skirmishers finally broke. Yep. Hampton's Legion's skirmishers broke from the Porterstown buildings. So McCulloch and Huvald assaulting the 3rd Battery Battalion. So it looks like the Union 3rd Battery is breaking. Let's see if we can't take those guns. Hawes is ordered to take this battery. Let's see how well they can do. Now, 1st Cavalry has unmounted, and Hawes is now starting to take some damage, but they did the job. Let's dismount. We need to get them reinforcements. For as tired as McCulloch is, he's very confident. So trying to hit the Union left flank hard here. McCulloch is just need a halt there. He's getting a little crazy, a little chaotic now. Where's the rest of Preston's? Let's get Stewart across. Looks like the Union's trying to make an assault for Porterstown, too. Alright, McCulloch broke. Bald is in an awkward position, and he seems to be doing his own thing, too. I'm having a hard time controlling his unit. Let's order Frost here to counter Mott's attack. And looks like the Union Army is trying to change orders. I want Jackson go in double line. Jones is low on ammunition. Okay, end of the day, darkness has fallen. And the fighting ceases for today. Prepare for the next day's fighting. That's kind of cool. So it's only almost 5 o'clock, but it's winter time, so the nightfall is falling a lot earlier. Let's conclude this episode here, as we will pick up the second day of the battle and conclusion to the Battle of Chesapeake and Ohio Canal on episode number 17.